Hello, everyone. It's Ryan Hassan from the Centre for Healing here, joined by Diana from Berry Street. Very, very excited to talk to her today. For those of you that have been following us for some period of time, you may have heard of Berry Street. We have run some collabs with them in the past. They're a non-for-profit charity based here in Australia who are just doing amazing work with children, with youth, with families, for people who've been through trauma and helping them get back on their feet. Myself and Melissa the other night, we were sitting in our lounge room just talking. We're leading up to Christmas here at the minute, and we're talking about how this Christmas and New Year period, for a lot of people, it means, time off work, relaxing, celebrating, seeing friends and family. And it's a time they look forward to and a good time. But for a large portion of people, it's a shitty time. It's not good. There's many, many challenges and things they go through and help that they need. And so we were talking like, how can we help people that really need it in this holiday season? And just about at the same time, me and Melissa were like, Berry Street. It's the first thing we thought of. So Diana, please, could you tell us about Berry Street, Berry Street's mission and who exactly they help?
Yep. Well, firstly, thank you, Ryan, and thank you for um, everything you're doing for Berry Street and for the children and young people and families that we work with and support. So Berry Street was founded in 1877, so we've been around for nearly 140 years. And we were founded on leading social and systemic change by a group of courageous women that cared for children and or babies and mothers that had been abandoned. So we're still doing that today. We still work with children, young people and families, and we're still protecting children that have suffered significant abuse, neglect and family violence. So, yeah. And, while we're speaking and going forward, I just want to put a trigger warning out there because some of the stuff we might speak about might trigger some emotions in people if they're listening.
Yeah, that's right. And Diana, tell us a little bit about how you found Berry Street. I understand that you've been working there for about 8 years or so now, and just sort of your journey with that.
Yeah, well, I have been working, it's 10 years just gone, but 8 of those as a case manager, which means we usually get a referral from Child Protection about a child who's been removed from a home that's not safe, usually due to family violence or mental health. And Berry Street workers come in and we work very closely with the young person and the family to provide services. So for 8 years, I did that in Gippsland. And, after the first few months, I thought, I don't think I can do this job just because of what I read the children had been exposed to. And over time and through Berry Street training that we get in trauma, once you meet these kids and families and learn about the work, you can't not want to help and you can't look away really. So that just, yeah, for 8 years I worked in that role and met some incredible young people, resilient, brave, just who've had experiences that some adults wouldn't manage to survive. And, with the help of Berry Street, they are surviving and thriving, and the support services we provide to keep them in safe homes. So, yeah, and then after 8 years, for the last two, I've been working in our philanthropy team at Berry Street, which is we work with people, wonderful, generous donors and corporates and partners who decide to give to us and support our work. So, yeah, it's wonderful. Now I get to speak to the people upstream that gift for our work and tell them the stories about the children I've worked with and the families, and just use the voice of the child and to try and, tell the donors about the work and the difference they're making to young people.
Yeah, and it's just we're just so glad that you exist. I remember when we first came across Berry Street, because a lot of the work we do, when we had our centre, our clinic, and we were helping people one on one, and now we're training a lot of practitioners and educating the general public. It's like we have these adults now who've been through a lot of childhood trauma and a lot of these situations. And now we're trying to unwind a lot of the conditioning and programming that they went through to try and help them thrive instead of be in survival mode all the time. And we get the question from our community all the time. It's like, well, how on a societal level, like, how do we make big shifts? And I'm like, well, there's a long-term prevention thing that needs to be put in place, which needs to happen over a long period of time. But then there's also, how do we get in, as this trauma is happening or just after it's happened, as soon as possible, and change the environment and change the living situation of these kids. And that's exactly what Berry
Mm.
Street is doing. So it's
Yeah.
so important. Is there any stories that maybe come to mind of a child or a young family or something that you were able to help out of a situation, or just give our community a really good bit of context around what that might look like?
Well, there's so many, unfortunately. And, Berry Street, one of the things we do is early intervention. So if we can get in early and do the work with the young people and we've got programs starting, it's called child parent psychotherapy, and we start from babies. And,
Mm.
some people might think, what could you do with babies? But, you know,
Trust
babies
me, Diana,
and toddlers,
our community will get it. They will get it
yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, well, the early intervention, the earlier we can get in and do the work, the more chance we have of a child growing up and being able to contribute to society and stay engaged in education, all those things, learn to manage any emotions that arise, so that they learn to self-regulate. So then when they get to teenagers, we don't see the behaviors and at-risk behaviors that, may take them down a different path. And yeah, so I can't even think. There's so many stories. I worked in the kinship team, so that was with children that had been put with family members,
Mhm.
and a majority of them were grandparents. So, one grandparent I'm thinking of off the top of my head, she had her three grandchildren dropped off at her home with only a phone call warning. She had, two of them were 1-year-old and a 2-year-old. She didn't have a cot. One of them was only, still being bottle fed. And so that's when that sort of stuff happens. And that was due to family violence. So the children had been exposed to significant family violence, and it was not safe for them to stay at home anymore. So when that happens, we get a referral to go out. And this grandma was, struggling with the fact that it was her daughter, number one, that couldn't manage, keep her children safe. And to have the three children just dropped on her, where she was retired, she didn't have significant funding to then take on three little kids. And so we come in and we look at the big picture as to what do the children need, what support services we can refer within Berry Street, like wraparound services to help them. Things like, even for her, she was working, so she needed daycare for the kids to be able to continue her work, which was also a respite for her to have a break. So yeah, just things like, you try, any parent to try and get a baby or a child into a daycare center tomorrow. It's very difficult.
Absolutely.
Things like that, just things that impact on their normal lives. The older child needed intensive therapeutic help because of what he'd been exposed to in the home. So we have Take Two, which is a statewide service with specialised practitioners who work with the child and the carer for mental health. And so, yeah, we just put in different services to allow that placement to stay stable. And so the children can stay with family, which is where they should be because of their culture and their connections and everything else. So, yeah, we basically make sure the placement's stable, the child and the carer has everything they need to continue raising the child. And at the same time, we hope that the parents can get the help they need to then at some stage the children can return home, because as we know, the home in most places is where kids should be. So,
Yeah.
another family I looked after, the young girl was 21 when I met her, and she took on 5 siblings, her 5 brothers and sisters, at 21, and the youngest were 2 years old. So for you think of any 21-year-old, my daughter's 21, just the challenges that come with that. And we ended up with her, we worked with her for quite a few years, and she needed significant financial help, even just set up a home. She didn't have a washing machine and, bedding and beds
All the
and a fridge.
basics. Yeah.
Yeah, things that we just take for granted and things like that, and again, the kids weren't enrolled in daycare, the little boy hadn't been to school. So there was all this sort of stuff, let alone the trauma from family violence that those children had been exposed to. So yeah, when I met them, the kids were hiding behind her, like they were very, there was no trust, like I'm a stranger coming into the home. And that young girl ended up adopting all her brothers and sisters, and yeah, they're all doing really well at school. The little boy that was in her care that ran away from school all the time when he first started going to school, was captain of his class in,
Wow.
the last time I saw them. Yeah. And just doing extremely well. But, it's hard to sort of put it all in a nutshell, but a family like that and keeping them together was so important, because the alternative is splitting up 5 siblings to go to residential care, foster care, and that creates even more trauma on a child, which impacts on their development, on their brain, so
Course.
yeah,
And
that young girl.
without you guys going in and being able to provide all of those like basic things like you said, and those referrals and getting them in school, daycare, all of these things, without that, the most likely scenario is that family fragmenting, and all of
Yep.
those things that you spoke about. So it's so important.
And making sure also that the school understood, we have Berry Street Education Model, BESM, which we go and we train the teachers and the principal on how to respond to children like that have experienced complex trauma, and educate the school on how to respond, because if they haven't had the training, then sometimes they look at a child's behavior and just think they're naughty, or they don't understand. And this is not all teachers, but yeah, there's a lot that haven't had that training, and it's really important to know how to respond to these kids so that
Oh,
they want to
so
go to
much.
school. Mm.
Exactly. And then it's like we, demonize the behavior and they get in trouble, and then it just reinforces that
Yeah.
ongoing loop. So that education
Yeah.
piece is so important.
Yeah, and that
Amazing.
young girl had support also, like
Yeah.
we had Take Two go in and help, work with the family. And there were so many wraparound services for her. We had L to P, which is a learner to probationary license program where mentors go in and help. And she didn't have a license, so she was catching buses and taxis with car seats. And so, yeah, even though she was over the age, that usually stops at 18. But the wonderful manager of that program allowed her to have a mentor and learn how to drive and get a license. And we supported her to get a car so she could take her siblings around so they could all stay together and stay safe.
Yeah. Wow. Well,
Mm.
hopefully everyone watching this can start to understand why we're so passionate about letting people know about Berry Street, and why we're promoting them, especially this holiday season. So we have a little bit of a call to action for everyone watching. We really want to, leading up to Christmas, really make an impact and help people through this tough time. So instead of just raising awareness, we're putting our money where our mouth is. We've just donated $10,000 to Berry Street, and we are challenging all of you watching, all of our Center for Healing community, to collectively raise the same. So if we can raise another
Wow.
10,000 through all of you, and whether that's $5, $10, 20, maybe
Yeah.
you can spare $50 this holiday season. It all adds up and it all makes a difference. So that's our goal. Our goal is to get to 20,000 for Berry Street this holiday
Yeah.
season. And Diana, it would be great to know, just to give some sort of context, around if we raise that number. We've already got the 10, but let's raise the 20. Like, where would that money go at this time of year,
Um,
when it comes to Berry Street?
Well, we have a Christmas appeal going at the moment, and I was just so privileged as a case manager to go and deliver presents and gifts out in the community to my young people I was looking after. And honestly, some of them would run up to the car, they'd know I was coming. Some of these kids would not get presents if it wasn't for Berry Street. Some of the grandparents I worked with could not afford to buy presents. I mean, I think about my daughter and what she had, every Christmas, the wish list and all that. These kids, their wishes, they don't even know if will Santa be up. I've had someone ask me, will Santa find me, Diana, because I'm not at home. I've moved to grandma's or auntie's, and they want to just be like everyone else. And a gift of monetary value will go to support, or a gift, and our trauma support services. But also, it's not just a monetary gift, it is giving a child a feeling of they matter and that they belong and that people do care about them, because it is very grim in some cases. Some kids have never had a Christmas tree, and that is the reality of a lot of the young people I've worked with. And also this time of year, they get quite emotional because they wonder, will I see my mum? Will I see my dad? All that is done through protective, like, contact services. And we go out and we do, sometimes we have to do contact where we supervise the parent to make sure it's safe. And, a lot of kids, that's all they want. They're no different. Like, I don't know if you've got kids, Ryan, or you've not got nieces and nephews or friends with kids, but you know what they're like this time of year, how excited they are. And unfortunately, that's not always the case for our Berry Street kids. And tonight, there could be kids being removed by Child Protection and put into a stranger's house that they've never been to before. And, this time of year is really, really tricky. And yeah, it's challenging.
Yeah, I do. I have a 5-year-old boy, Tommy, and I was getting a bit emotional there because
Yeah, I saw that. Sorry.
I was just, no, it's beautiful. I was just imagining him having that feeling of I don't matter. And
Yeah.
I don't think anybody should have to feel that at this time of
No,
year.
and it's heartbreaking, and that's why I continue to do the work I do, because I have seen kids' lives changed by the help, the therapeutic support, and just knowing that people believe in them. And one young girl I worked with, she was very good at art, and she needed an Apple iMac basically,
Mhm.
and the carer she lived with couldn't buy one of those, and the department couldn't afford to give us the money for one. And luckily, a lovely donor donated an Apple iMac for her.
Wow.
Her work ended up in the National Gallery of Victoria, and she got second. It was like a media for schools, but to give her that Apple iMac from the donor made her, it wasn't just that she got the iMac, it was that someone believes in me. And just the difference in her knowing that there was someone out there that believed in her and that we believed in her has really impacted her life. And she's 21 now, and she's still using that Apple iMac from year 11.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And it's just things
Fantastic.
like that. It really does make a difference.
Yeah, yeah. No, thank you so much. So everyone, please, if you can reach out, we're going to put all the details of Berry Street down below, their website, how to donate, more information about the different programs that they're running. Their website's fantastic, has a whole heap of information on there. So we're going to put all that down below. And that's my challenge. $10,000, everyone. Please, if you can give, if it's
That would be
possible for you
amazing.
at this time of year, then please do. And Dinah, thank you so much for coming on here and sharing your experience and those stories and everything. It's obviously touched me, and I'm sure it's going to touch a lot of people watching this.
Thank you, Ryan. Yeah, just before I go, I'd just like to say, we have 5 different areas that with Berry Street, we have like healing trauma, addressing family violence. We provide safe homes, trauma-informed education. We have schools that provide education for children that have challenging issues that they can't stay in traditional schools. And we care for families in the community. And, like we run programs, parenting programs. It's so complex, the trauma that these kids and families have been through. And, at the moment there's 1 in 5, like one woman a week, every 5 days is being killed due to family violence. And, that's impacting, there's a ripple effect on the children. And yeah, so it's so needed. And just for your supporters, they have the ability to change a life, and it can happen, and it can be just through simple support of our work. It can make a difference in a child's life.
Brilliant. Dinah, thank you so much. I'm so glad that Berry Street exists. And like you said, I mean, trauma is such a complex issue. And the fact that you
Yeah,
have this, like wraparound service, as you call it, where you really get around an individual and get around a family, because they do need the work on healing the trauma. They need support financially. They need resources. They need these referrals and help. It's just help. At the end of the day, it's help that they
yeah.
need that they're not going to get somewhere else.
No, and sometimes people, as you know, Ryan, are overwhelmed and they don't know where to go for help. And
Exactly.
children are no different. Their safe space is often their school. So yeah, it's just really important. And to me, we're investing in our future and our communities, because the children that are being removed tonight because of family violence or risk at home, that's our future, and it's an investment in our community. And it's really important, and they're amazing young people. So yeah, thank you,
Yeah.
Ryan. And yeah, I hope your little boy has a lovely Christmas, and you do too. So, and just thank you again to all your supporters that are helping us help the kids.
Our absolute pleasure, Diana. Everyone, Berry Street, check out the link below and have a wonderful holiday season.
Thank you.